If you at any point have had to give a speech or a talk on a stage, in a theater or whatever kind of space, and it has been one of the most uncomfortable experiences in your life, I want to, aside from like stage fright, I want to break down for you why it's so uncomfortable and a skill that you can practice to get better at it, because speaking on stages, communicating, being able to be yourself publicly is one of the most important skills you could learn ever, self-expression in public. And I've been a Broadway actor, so I feel like nobody better to educate you on this. So I want you to picture you're standing on a stage and you're giving some sort of a speech, a talk, maybe it's a presentation for work, right? But you're standing on some sort of elevated platform in front of an audience. That's what a stage is. And specifically when you're doing one of these big talks, a keynote or whatever, it's giving like this kind of light on you and you are just blinded. Like when I was on Broadway, I remember I would look at another person on stage and there would be light coming at me from the wings. And I was like, I'm trying to look into the eyes of the person I'm acting with, but I'm so blinded. The funny thing is then you look at the audience and they're already dark, right? Because it's obvious the house lights are down. You can't see a fucking thing. Your eyes take a little bit to adjust. And it's interesting because you feel like all of a sudden, I know I'm like doing a speech, being a person, like being an active version of myself, whether on Broadway or like giving the speech or whatever. But then you look out and you're in a vacuum. You are in what feels like the darkness of space where no one can hear you scream. It's giving Alien. Now, if you stay there for a while, your eyes might adjust. However, you're still never going to be able to actually make eye contact with anyone, maybe the first couple of rows. But that's really important because in life, we are simply not used to being versions of ourselves in a vacuum. Whether we are being authentic or inauthentic, frankly, we are used to landing thoughts on other people in conversation. We make eye contact. We look around and we have thoughts, but we always talk to people. The reason it's so crazy to stand on a stage and give some sort of a speech where you can't see anyone is you have to be this very active and hopefully authentic version of yourself with the absence of any energy coming back at you. It's like you are just expelling into the void. And this is how you probably even feel if you were to make content on social media. Again, I'm in my house right now by myself. I have to hit the button and then I have to be a version of myself that is activated in a completely self-generated way. Now, somebody could say, right, that's what it feels to perform. It's so fake, it's so false. Sure, or there's a concept called double consciousness, which was introduced in the early 1900s and has this connotation of a fractured identity, right? Like knowing you are being a version of yourself, but being perceived to be entirely other, causing this schism between the two. And I sort of argue, cool, what if it's something that we actually took hold of more and was like, no, I know I'm being a version of myself consciously, and I know I'm being watched. I'm not